My name's John Krecek. I'm president of JFK Electrical. It was formed in 1988. We started out very small, one guy, and we've grown to, at our prime, we were at 240 employees. We are primarily in commercial and industrial with specialized in healthcare. We cover metropolitan Phoenix mainly. We'll work anywhere in Arizona though. We originally, our previous controller bought it, and actually I think we started using it in July of 2021, and then he had to resign with some personal problems. So then I took it over in September. My previous controller that was here for 17 years came back to work, and I said I'd handle WorkMax. So I've been pretty much working nonstop in it since September of 21. We previously used a competitor. My son that's taking over the business, running the day-to-day now, wanted a solution for logging in, for employees to log in, to save the foreman from doing so much paperwork. Our old system was Excel spreadsheets that they'd have to fill out daily. And now the employee logs in when he gets to the job site and logs out when he completes, and then the foreman processes it from there. One of the major things was saving foremen and approving time versus them writing up the time. Being able to put in sick days, or the employee would have to request a sick day or a vacation day versus the foreman having to take a verbal from them and emailing the office, the HR department, and going through that. So it's all automated now. Once the foreman approves it, it goes to the project manager. The project manager approves it, and then it goes to HR, and HR then goes through, double checks cost codes and all those things, and then submits it to accounting for an upload. We did a very poor job onboarding it, I'll be honest, because of our controller resigning, and I took it over. Hindsight's always 20/20. I would have spent a lot more time understanding the office, understanding the program, so that they could explain to the foreman. They had used this previous competitor for I think 2 years, and they finally got comfortable with it, and then it was like we threw a bag of ice at them and said, okay, now we're switching to WorkMax. So it went over with a lead balloon at first, and finally we took individuals, brought them in, and taught them, spent more time with them, teaching them how to do it, how to onboard, how to log in. We've changed our hiring process that before the employee leaves, they log on their phone, go through, make sure everything works, the settings are correct, and it is really a great experience now. They're all happy with it. Originally, when we set it up, Janice from the support team was unbelievable. She answered questions, spent all as much time as we wanted. You know, she would always give us a block. You got an hour this time, or you got a half an hour, and we had to work within that block. But she was great to get the system up and running. And then support, the help desk, you submit a ticket. There, you know, if it's critical because you're doing payroll, they seem to respond very quickly, and the help department is great to work with. The day-to-day is now boom. At the end of the day, the project managers can go and look at who was there, how long they were there. They have all that at their access daily versus the old Excel spreadsheets wouldn't come in till Monday. So they really didn't know that this guy missed half a week. So the information is right then. The visibility is very hands-on. It's not that they have to call foreman now and say, hey, did so-and-so make it to work today? They can, boom, go into WorkMax and see exactly who was on their jobs. They have filters that they can now sort their filters, filter just their jobs, so they don't have to look at every employee, which is a big time consuming. The same thing with the foreman. They can sort employees by just their jobs instead of seeing all 70, 100 employees and trying to pick and choose which ones that they have to approve. The facial recognition, we kind of had a foobar on that also. We in computerese, we have photo ID. And so as we set up the pictures, a lot of the pictures were taken at a job site. And I remember distinctly one gentleman, we were doing ASU's practice stadium, and he's standing in the practice stadium, the big tent, and he's motioning field goal. And that was his picture. Well, photo recognition didn't recognize his picture. So we went back, and you probably should add this to your setup. Use selfies. So everyone now took a selfie. So now they can't say, oh, it's the camera that doesn't work. The selfie is exactly what they're taking. And it's kind of interesting watching the guys take their picture, and they're in their truck. Or one gentleman took his picture and had the camera backwards, and he was driving down the road. So it's like, okay, how can you be at the job site if you're driving down the road? So it definitely helps a lot. The payback is, I don't know how you can really measure the payback because the information is there. There's no more, oh, I was there at 6 o'clock or I was there at 5 o'clock. You just didn't see me. You see with the GPS exactly where they logged in. You see their picture. Those things. And the same thing with the foreman. It makes their job so much easier versus chasing these guys around trying, on the bigger job sites, we may have 2 or 3 entrances where they're coming in. So the foreman has a hard time. Some of the jobs have a sign-in sheet. So what saves that now, the foreman sends the sign-in sheet, and actually the payroll clerk checks the sign-in sheets to the time, does that all ahead of time, and then alerts the foreman, hey, he logged in at 6:15 on his sign-in sheet, but he's saying he was at work at 6. So the foreman has a lot more information now. We had one gentleman that had 40 employees on a job and was not using it. He was still using his time cards. And I finally said, he had a sub-foreman that had used it and really enjoyed it. And he didn't have the time because it was at the end of the job, yada, yada, yada. And so then afterwards, we brought him in here, and Ryan, our PM, sat him down with the iPad and went through, okay, this is how you do it. These are the shortcuts. These are the filters, and one by one. And now he's our best person. So going back to the onboarding, if you do a great job onboarding with them, the system will work. Everyone manages their own time. There'll be missed punches or bad Wi-Fi, so the foreman might have to punch some guys in on theirs. But again, it'll show up that the foreman punched it in on a computer. And then he'll put notes in the notes. And that's one of the things that we love is the notes thing. And he'll put notes in there that their phone didn't work or they left their phone at home. Or so then the project manager will see why the foreman punched it in. So the notes is a great tool to have. When it was first rolled out, that was the big thing is a lot of guys don't have smartphones, that they only had a flip phone. And I'm going back a couple years ago when we used your competitor. And we said, fine, the foreman would do the login. Now, I think this week, the last 6 months, I don't think there's anyone that does not have a phone that can log their time in. Maybe they don't want to, but everyone has a phone to log in. Even we have one with a burner phone, and it works. Quick synopsis is the employee has to log in, log out, and then the foreman has to approve. The project manager has to approve before it even goes to the HR department. So there's a lot of approval process that we used to do by time card, Excel spreadsheet. So there was printing of them, da-da-da-da-da-da, where now it's all seamless, right on the computer, and they can fly through it real fast. So it saves a lot of time all the way around.